Welcome to Meet the Polymaker. I am your host, Joel, the man with more filament than sense. Welcome in everybody to the show. We have another great show lined up, as we do every week, right? Every show is a great show, ideally. You know, we make it through regardless. But if you are new here, we talk about 3D printing news, maker news, really whatever's in the headlines that interests this type of community, ideally. And we also share prints from our Discord at discord.polymaker.com from our Show Off Prints channel, where community shares off their prints, whether they're good, the bad, the ugly, all of them. We encourage all to be shared, whether it be for a good laugh, a good smile, or just a heartwarming kitty cat flexi. You know, whatever it is that you got shared over there, and it might be displayed on the show. And also, if you're new here, you're going to see people type in I am awesome. That is active. I only have 2 entries though. Where's the I am awesomes, people? You guys are usually on this by now. Make sure to type in I am awesome. That's going to give you a chance to win a free spool of filament, and that's international. That's anywhere you are in the world. If you hear my voice, filament can reach you via whatever courier that's in your area, via the Polymaker warehouse. So make sure to type that in there. I will, of course, give you one last chance if you forgot to at the end of the show, but get it in there. You can do it multiple times if you're not sure if you missed it. It's not going to hurt your chances. It's not going to increase them either. But if you're not sure, just type it in there to be safe. So with that said, does anybody else know what the next segment is? Hot End Headlines. And first up, we're going to talk about 3D printed buildings. We've been here. We've done that. We've talked 3D printed buildings. This is a little bit different take on it. It is still 3D printed and actually cement, later filled with concrete. And this one was actually delivered in pieces. So it actually wasn't assembled, or not, it was assembled on site, yes, but it was not printed on site, as we've seen a lot of different buildings. This is just another form of the building setups that we can do now throughout, based on the size of the area, how congested the area is. Of course, cities, it's a lot harder to be able to get a printer in, the concrete printer. That takes up a lot of space to be able to clear out everything, along with all the equipment, the trucks, the crew, everything to do so. This one actually was only in pieces, and it was assembled in just over 2 hours by a crew of 6 individuals. Now, I didn't see any of the work hours that it took to print or what printer they did use. It was done by a Japanese firm called Serendix, and this was completed back in March, so it's not new news, but again, it's just showing that 3D printing a building isn't always the same thing as you see everywhere else of just extruding the lines out. Sometimes they can just print those parts, bring them into like the Lego pieces and put them together on site. So again, just awesome to see different variations of what we're used to seeing. Next up, we're going to talk about Lemke Robotics, collaborated with iScale 3D, which is a German large format printing company, to produce the world's first 3D printed mobile home. That's their claim. I did not verify that claim, but we're going to go with it. We'll trust them on this one. But this is it's dubbed the Discover 3D. It can accommodate up to 3 people. It's 250 kilogram weight. So it's not super heavy, but it is going to be made of composite material from recycled polypropylene, along with some fiberglass. Now the material in it, they say, is roughly equivalent to 7,400 plastic bottles. So again, recycling that. And then what's nice is if it gets to the end of life for this mobile home, it can be recycled and of course separated. But doing so with using these materials, and number one, of course, sustainability, but also reduces material cost and material time, or manufacturing time. So a cool little, I don't know how 3 people fit in this, because it also showed a picture that there's like a kitchenette in the back. But I guess if you like 2 other people and you don't mind snuggling in a confined space, maybe this is your jam. And next up, we've got a US-based biotech company, Continuity Biosciences, has actually teamed with Pinpoint, who makes micro needles. What is cool about this is these are 3D printed. Now they're using something called Injection Continuous Liquid Interface Production, or iClip, to create such precise channels to be able to make this basically a patch that can deliver drugs through a patch instead of having to do needles and stick yourself with things. So like diabetics, things like that, might have something in the horizon to where they can just put a patch on, it injects the drugs as necessary or in the amounts as necessary. But it's just again, effective drug delivery. Does have the potential to improve vaccine potency, simplify storage, and of course, again, that self-administration. I luckily do not have to do that. I don't know how people do. More power to you if you can do it. I can barely get it from the doctor, let alone myself. But what else this can lead to is actually it can collect body fluid to help track things like glucose and immune health. So it can lead to not just helping administer drugs, but also help, whether it be diagnosing or help maintaining or monitoring certain illnesses. And next up, this is actually an article shared from Tech Jeeper, one of our community members. He is an avid bicyclist. If you are too, you've probably heard of this company, Park Tool. They're well known in the cycling industry for their tools. And what is cool is now, of course, you can go buy their tools on their website. They actually have a part on their storage section on their website to where they have 7 total models where you can download and print for storage. So, pegboard mostly is what the items are now. Your general pegboard standard. That way, if you have any of their tools, you can go here, download it for free, print it off, and have it for yourself. And this is just, again, going to show where 3D printing is going to get in with the commercialized stuff. I mean, of course, it has quite a bit, but just as another offering. Sometimes it's not feasible for this company to, say, manufacture such a small item and then have a price on it that might not be competitive. So they can give you the access to print it yourself. And then, of course, they'll still sell their tools. And then, ideally, maybe you'll download all 7 the models. You only have 5 of the tools. You'll buy the other 2, and they make money. So whether that's their game plan, I don't know. But just still cool, again, seeing more and more companies adapt 3D printing, not just in use of manufacturing their items, but for the consumer themselves. And last but not least, we have seen 3D printed musical instruments. We've got our PPS bell we like to bring to events. I've made a PPS cowbell. Zombie Hedgehog has made a couple violins, I think. We've seen guitars. We've seen everything across the board. And of course, usually it's within our industry. It's within our community that we see them. But this is just showing that is more widely accepted or being more widely accepted. This is a California area school district where the students are learning to play violins crafted from 3D printers, obviously, as you see in the picture, blending that musical education with the technology of 3D printing. What is cool is they're actually combining the music program with the tech programs. So they're learning to model, to make their own instruments so that they can print them also. I'm not sure if this design is student created. If it is, hats off to that student. Congrats on that. But still, it's getting them started, not just in music, but finding different ways of creating music, but also creating 3D models, which can lead to a whole array of other things, other skills that can carry on for a lifetime. So definitely cool to see this continue to grow within the education industry. And that is it for the news. I don't know why I paused there. I was waiting to click something, but that is it for the news. So let's go ahead and head over to Spool Spotlight. And these prints are, again, all shared from community on our show off prints channel at discord.polymaker.com. Go join if you haven't yet. But the first one we're going to show off here is a print by Nervous Pajamas. It is a woven basket model created by James the Printer, and it is available on Things. And this, of course, any type of round object like this, vases, waste baskets, etc., are always great for the gradients because you get to see that full transition cycle. So beautiful print, 3 of them. I don't know if this was done maybe before Easter. Ideally it was, and they were able to hand it out to their own kids or grandkids. Next up, we have a print by 10 Talon. This is the Sunflower Windmill designed by Bam Bam Design, and this model is available on Maker World. And I hope that they were printed in maybe PETG at least. I'm not sure. Some PLA people have had success out in the sun, some not. But it'll be interesting to see what this looks like after summer. Ideally, it's all with the right material and it'll stay intact. But either way, for now, it's a beautiful print. And next up, we have Tech Jeeper, who has printed the floppy chip cookie designed by Bearded Printer. Another one of those fun little flexies. This is available on things.com. Just search again, floppy chip cookie or Bearded Printer. And this one, Tech Jeeper decided to go, I guess galactic or superhero toxic with luminous and glow in the dark filaments to create really cool effects and really cool, designs, or well, I guess effects in daylight and night. And next up, I've seen a million of these. This one was printed and painted. Again, hats off to those who can paint. This is done by Reese's Storm. It is the Majora's Mask by 3D Print Dogs, and it is available on printables. So if you like that, you can go there, print it. The model itself is a multicolor when I click the link. So if you do have an AMS system, I've seen people do multicolor versions of these. A lot of waste, but really cool results. And last up, we have a print by Chronic. And this is the Panda and Red Panda. I named it because there wasn't a title in there. I'm pretty sure that's what those animals are. This is created by Creature Cash, and it's available on Patreon. So if you just search Creature Cash or Cache, Catch, whatever you want to call it, this nice little flexibles. And my son loves red pandas, so I'm sure I'll have to print the red panda. But that is it for all the show off prints. We're going to break for commercial, and when we get back, we're going to meet our next maker, so stay tuned.
Whoa, I'd love to get into 3D printing, but I live here on the sun where the UV rays are nuts.
Wait just one moment there, strapping young chap. Have you ever heard of Polymaker ASA? Polymaker ASA is UV resistant, so it is the perfect application for printing near or around the sun.
No way, bro.
Yes way, brosif. Here, try it out.
Radical, man.
If you need a weather-resistant material, make sure you check out Polymaker's ASA.
Printing on the sun is no problem at all with Polymaker ASA.
Imagine owning some of the best songs about 3D printing this Discord has to offer. Polymaker presents 3D Printing Hits by Silverback and Little D, the best renditions of some of the greatest hits of all time. Hits like Hallelujah, Polly Smooth Criminal, All That She Wants Is Another Printer, Print Away,
There you go, print away.
Still the TD1, All About That Bag, No Stabbies, and Polyman.
It's a file tonight. We're all in the mood to see it extrude, 'cause you've got your printer tuned right.
Reserve your CD today with a special TV offer by going to polymaker.com and paying $39.99. Have your credit card ready. Seriously though, this music was a joke. Go buy some Polymaker.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Our guest tonight is the bearded wizard of resin, the king of cosplay. So without further ado, let's welcome in none other than Uncle Jessy.
Everybody.
See, look at that king of cosplay. You know, so I didn't even look at the feet over here to see the beautiful hairdo.
I know. I'm letting it grow out. It's the
Did you
natural
have that
color.
done just for the show?
Yeah. It's finally, I stopped dyeing it and just letting it grow out.
This is his natural look, guys. You see it here first.
Okay.
Well, welcome in, Uncle
What's
Jessy
going
or
on, everybody?
Clayton. He's not my uncle, so
Yeah.
I'm going to call him Clayton. But
Hey. Government names here. No, I'm just,
there you go. Yeah, just doxed him. He's
yeah.
Everybody's
No,
gonna look
it's
him
good.
up
It's
now.
good. It's good.
So now,
Oh,
for
my
those
goodness.
that for some reason haven't come across you in some way or form on the socials, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, so I go by Uncle Jessy online. I make lots of different 3D printing related content. Lots of it is pointless, I want to say, but
But
I'm
fun
not
to
like doing
watch.
anything. It's yeah. I'm more on the what was it? Edutainment is what someone commented
Oh, there
a
you
while ago
go.
that I
Yeah.
really liked. They were like, "Oh, Uncle Jessy, he's more like edutainment than actually informative." I was like,
Yeah.
"I'll take it. That's
No,
okay."
I like that description. Yeah, because you do
Yeah,
some
yeah,
some how tos and helpful stuff, and then the fun stuff.
Basically, whatever I'm learning about, I'm trying to incorporate into my videos or just sharing what I'm doing and working on or enjoying. It's
Yeah.
but I've been at this for a while now, making videos.
1 or 2 years, right?
Yeah, just a few years. But it's been a wild little journey of just making and sharing lots of goofy builds and projects and never finishing projects like a lot of folks out there as well, I think.
That is something like synonymous with 3D printing is a list of projects that only a fraction get finished.
Oh my goodness. What I keep telling myself is, okay, I'm going to turn this project into a video and then it will force me to
There
work
you
on
go.
it and complete it. But what ends up happening is I'm like, oh, I'm going to turn this into like a multi-part video. Part 2, like I'll release the first part and then part 2 will happen at some point.
12 months later. And like,
Yeah.
I forgot all about that that project that he started 12 months ago. I've been waiting for
my
that.
Oh my,
So
that's my never-ending Magneto statue at my studio
Oh,
that has
yes. Yep.
been sitting, waiting to be worked on.
Now, if only you had 3D printers to print those parts to finish it.
I
right?
know,
Nice.
right? I know.
Maybe
Finally,
someday
I
I'll
had
find
thought
some.
that project through.
So now, of course, you've been doing this for a little while now. That to go back
Yeah.
to the beginning, what got you started into 3D printing, and then we'll also into that, what was your very first 3D printer?
Yeah. You like the intro was spot on. I mean, it was what got me into 3D printing was doing things for cosplay and just making really nerdy things that I was into. Marvel, DC, movie replica props. I was at the time really into Pepakura before 3D printing. So printing out paper templates, cutting them out, gluing them together, then using Bondo and other materials to try and make props. So it was a very detailed, thorough
Very
process.
messy.
And funny enough, I had an older YouTube channel that was about Pepakura and making and cosplay and other sorts of nerdy things. And then I started the Uncle Jessy channel as an Xbox channel because Uncle Jessy has been my Xbox handle. I think I just checked about a month ago. It's 22 years now. I've had Uncle Jessy as my Xbox handle, which has been
A little while,
a little while. I'm like, oh my God, has it
It's
been
crazy
around
how
that
those
long?
screen names just stick with you for so long. Because mine was always Nightcore. It always has been since I've been on the internet. So when I became Polymaker Joel, people were upset. Like, no, you're Nightcore. No.
Yeah.
You can still call me that. It's fine. But it's funny how it just becomes another name for you. Like,
yeah, it is. It just sort of it takes over, so to speak. But to answer your question about my first printer, or what got me started in 3D print, again, it was around cosplay. So I was on things like the Replica Prop Forum, and I'd seen people making 3D printed things, and actually I'd bought some 3D printed things from other people. I think like Iron Man fingers that I never got around to finishing. But I ended up, my very first 3D printer was the MakerBot Mini. So when that released, that's when I bought. That was my very first 3D printer. I thought that was going to be the coolest thing ever. It had a camera built into it. It had a mobile app. It just seemed like it was going to be a really intuitive, easy to use 3D printer versus everything else that was out on the market back in 2014, I think it was 2014, 2015.
Different market than compared to now, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my first printer, and I didn't know any better, so I just thought it was like, man, this is awesome. And then randomly started making MakerBot videos about and posting about those on, like, here's how I don't know, fix this issue with the print bed. Or here, because you had to use like blue painter's tape, or they wanted you to use the MakerBot pre-cut tape for the build plate.
That
I
was
like,
just
no.
pre-cut
Here's
painter's tape.
Yeah, I was like, no. Go to Lowe's, get the blue painter's tape, and then get a hole puncher, and then you can just hole punch where the alignment holes are for the bed leveling. And then, but I made a quick video on that. And I was like, holy cow, these videos are doing so much better than my Xbox videos. So I started transitioning into I was like, all right, maybe I need to start doing more 3D printer videos. And then ended up acquiring a BQ Witbox, was my second 3D printer, which was much larger, and I loved that thing. And then that's when I really started getting into making, I think my first, like one of my first viral videos was a Deadpool mask and like a Batman mask, I think, was when, like, this is forever ago. And, but yeah, you had to cut it up into multiple parts, and then how I welded them together and all that other jazz that was involved with it at the time. But it's been an evolution, but it's been fun growing with all these different 3D printers over the years and seeing how they've evolved. And I joke, I really do like to joke, like Pooch Repcord was a fellow MakerBot Mini owner. And I've joked with him numerous times. I'm like, all right, I still have mine. I was like, I need to do a video.
Most people have their
like,
first,
I was like, and I think it still runs. I was like, I need to get it up and running, see if it'll still print, and compare it to, I don't know, like a Bamboo H2D or something. Whatever the new
side comparison for speed and quality and everything else. 2 days later.
Exactly. And like, I can't believe how loud it was compared to other machines out there now. So
well, that's the thing, is even in just the last several years, I mean 3-4 years of how much it's changed. The people that are getting into it now, or even in the last couple years, they don't really realize like how, I want to say how bad we had it, because I started on Ender 3. It was good for what it was at its time, but I mean it got worse prior to that. Of course, you go back and just how some people stuck with it. But it was, props to them.
It was like the Ender 3 was really, I think, the popping off point for 3D printing for a lot of folks, because that was really one of the first affordable entry points into 3D printing that, it printed well. It wasn't amazing, and you had to tinker with it, and there was a million upgrades that you could apply to it.
But when you got that good print off of it, like you say, it was good.
I know, it was really good. And then you could get like replacement parts pretty easily off of Amazon, and then we just saw a million Ender 3 clones.
And so starts the progress of the 3D printer news and everything. Exactly. But so now, of course, you've printed with a lot of different printers. Most people start off FDM. When did you start getting into the resin printing?
It was probably my very first resin printer was the Anycubic Photon 3D printer. And I really wanted to like it, and I was just like struggling with it to get it to print properly and correct, like just reliably get it to print. There's a lot of learning that went in with that. And then the first printer that I really enjoyed was the Elegoo Mars 3D printer. That, like, I feel like that was a game changer for me in terms of just working with resin and being able to, and usability and just getting it to print and like, holy cow, this actually, like everything's sticking to the build plate and it's printing properly and the prints look good. And then that really sort of changed my perspective on things. And I can just remember thinking, man, I wish they would make bigger resin 3D printers, but I'm like, that's never gonna happen. And then I think it was like Elegoo put out the Saturn, and then I can't remember the other. Anycubic had maybe the Mono X, I think.
Mono and the photons. And
but that was like, oh my god, we can now start printing bigger. Like I can print statues, and I think I printed. I've only ever done a full helmet once in resin. In multiple parts, and I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Lesson learned. We'll stick to the figurines and everything. So now with the,
I was like, oh my god, it weighs so much, and it's like
I
deforming. Bet. Like I'm trying to put it together, and it's just deforming on itself. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not working.
And then just one day, 12 months down the road, it's sitting on a shelf, and you hear a pop, and it's just cracked in half.
Literally, I think I have a YouTube short or a TikTok video that's got a bajillion views on it, and it was literally that right there. I was in the other room working, and I heard a popping sound from this room, and I came over and was like, what the heck was that? And I found it was a Magneto statue. The head had exploded. It was maybe a year later and just randomly exploded because it was uncured resin stuck in there. I don't think I had I think I didn't add a hole in the bottom of the head, maybe, and I didn't recognize it, or there was just something trapped in there. But yeah, that can happen.
So now with the resin printing, what got you into that? Was it just because it was another 3D printing thing you want to kind of test out, or did you have stuff you were wanting to make?
It was at the time. It was something new, and just the level of detail that you could get out of that was extremely cool. I can remember wanting to be able to print action figures with it, and like that just not being a feasible thing at the time. And I tried printing one of the zip tie guy figures. I think his name's 3D Zip Guy that makes these zip tie action figures. So I printed one in resin, and it was cool, but it was like, it just wasn't feasible with the material, because everything back a handful of years ago, it was just basic ABS.
It was brittle.
Super brittle. The thing was super brittle. Plus I didn't know what I was doing. Like I feel it was so new, the tech. So I can remember making videos for my resin printers and walking them out of my basement outside. I've got a back door to my basement here, and walking outside and bringing them out into the sun to take pictures of them outside because the lighting was better. Like still on the build plate, I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? Like it was curing it as I'm out there. I didn't know any better. Like
I just want to get this really good shot. This is cool.
Yeah, that's all it is. I was like, I gotta get a good photo for Twitter. I gotta get a good thumbnail.
Yep. It's like the foodies. They only can't touch the plate of food until a picture's taken.
Right.
Like no, don't do it.
I know, but eventually what ended up happening for me, and not that I've taken a back seat to resin, it's just I feel like FDM 3D printing has gotten so much more advanced and easier to work with, and you can get better details now than you could previously. But for a while, I really zeroed in on resin printing because no one else in the space, no one else in the content creation space was focusing on resin. They were like, oh, this is a pain in the rear end to work with. It's a mess. And I'm like, yeah, it is, but you can get some really awesome things.
Look what you can get out of it. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I sort of doubled down on making resin videos and working with lots of different resin manufacturers and trying. Oh my gosh, I've had so many different resin 3D printers come through, and I've just been garbage that I've never shown.
Never talked about.
or
this
ones
is the
that
top
I bought.
5 list from Clayton.
Oh my gosh. Like I text with Andrew Sink all the time and Repcord a lot. And I'm like, oh, I just bought this new printer off of Amazon. I think I'm going to do a video on like the cheapest resin 3D printer that I can find off of Amazon. and then it sits in my closet for 6 months. I'm like, oh crap, it's out of, like, you can't even buy it anymore.
Oh jeez.
I can't make this video.
Like, that doesn't even exist. What are you talking about?
I'm like, oh, let me go pull this back up. Oh, it's twice the price now, or it doesn't exist, or they've moved on to a new model. But it's I still feel like to this day the resin space is not untapped, because there's lots of people that are still
lacking.
It's lacking. It's really lacking. So if anybody's watching that's interested in making content, like,
jump on it.
dip in more into like Above Wong Art over on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, who does amazing stuff with Nomad Sculpt and 3D modeling. He's big on like resin, so he is constantly designing and just making a quick video of something that he's designed and printing with whatever the latest resin printer is that he's got his hands on. And there's a lot of, I feel like there's a lot of opportunity in that area of people to continue to expand on.
With the resin, like especially like dioramas, that's what I've always wanted. I've got a Mars, I've got a Saturn, and I've always wanted a Jupiter, something just big to do the big dioramas. The problem is I don't paint. And for somebody that has the skill to print well, which nowadays is not really that hard, but to also paint is, I think that would be golden, because like I would watch somebody paint an amazing diorama all day long.
There are some super talented folks out there that are, busting out their resin prints and then spending like a month detail painting these beautiful statues that look like you could have got them off
shading
of
and
it looks like you could have spent $1,000 on it off of Sideshow or wherever the hot toy.
The only thing I hate watching those for, though, is the fact that I can't do it. I've got an airbrush, I can paint, and I've done like fine painting, and it's like it just doesn't ever look good.
What's funny is I continually say I'm going to practice more with my airbrush and try and get better at airbrushing. And every time I bust it out, I make the biggest mess. Like I'm spilling paint, or I'm trying to like get the pressure just right, and I overspray, and it's just like splatter. I was like, oh my God. And then I got to clean it. And then I'm cleaning it for 30 minutes. Like, how am I, like, is there an easier way? Am I supposed to have multiple airbrushes?
I've tried the same. I have an airbrush system that I still have to date not used. I bought off a friend that he never used it. Like, oh, I'll buy it. And the same thing is like, I'll get into airbrushing. I'll start practicing and everything. I think I did power it on one time, put some paint through it, and kind of just messed with it. But then after that, I was like, okay, I don't know if I have the patience for this.
It can be
unfortunate.
It's definitely, it's one of those skills that I continue to want to try and focus on, but every time I get into it, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do something else right now.
I can do multicolor FDM printing now. That sounds a lot easier. And now there's enough color of filament, you can pretty much match about anything.
The only, like, the biggest complaint I still have, and it's just a lot of people's complaint, is just how much it wastes. It's insane how much a lot of the multicolor printing continues to just
it's what I'm
blow
waiting. I know
through.
everybody else too is waiting for the tool changers to come commercialized. I mean, I know you can get the XL from Prusa, and it's a nice printer, but it is it's an expensive printer.
I pre-ordered the XL when it was announced, the single tool head, and then I bought the dual upgrade like a year later or something like that, 6 months later, whatever it was released, and upgraded it. And like they were super kind enough, like they saw that and were like, hey, we want you to upgrade to the
full setup,
to the 5. And so they sent me the rest, and I upgraded it. And then I was just talking with Frankly Built. I was like, I need to like use my XL more for some of these bigger prints, just because it doesn't waste nearly as much filament. But it is really, like, if you go for the full 5 color combo or the 5 tool head combo, it is pricey. It is very pricey.
And that's the thing too, is I think with that high price, number one, of course, it's out of reach for some people financially, but also the ones that can't afford it, a lot of them, it's like, well, what's my return on investment? Because we'll spend $300, $400, $500 easy on a printer just to have fun as a hobby. Of course, Bamboo did get us to spend more with the $1,500 for the X1C combo, or X1 combo. But I think that's there too, is it's just so much a higher price. Like, do I need a hobby printer for $5,000? And like,
Yeah, it really does depend on what you're shooting for.
Yep.
Like I was really my XL. This is a handful of months ago. I was like, I'm gonna sit down and because I haven't really touched Etsy in a long while. I used to do a lot of Etsy and printing and selling things, and would make videos on it, which was awesome. It was sort of like it continued to make me want to print and sell things on Etsy, so I could turn around and try and turn that into video and what I've learned. But then it just got overwhelming. I'm done with all fulfilling orders and trying to get prints done. And oh no, I'm out of this filament. I got to order this filament. No, order was due like 2 days ago. Got to contact or something broke, and now I need to reprint it and get it back out to them or refund them. But what I was getting at was, I was like, all right, I really wanted to start using the XL for the multicolor prints, and I'm like, oh, this would like be the perfect opportunity to not waste so much material, because some of the things that I want to print, I end up like the He-Man hair was a horrible example, but like if it was multicolor, like I could almost, in some cases, you're wasting almost as much as the entire model as your print. It's just it's absurd with that, and it goes back to what you're trying to print, I guess. Oh, did I lose you?
Nope, you're there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I seen the screen, the page blinked out too, but nope, you're still here.
Yeah,
which I usually do lose people randomly. So you dodged the blackout screen.
Yeah, there we go. I was like, the Wi-Fi in here can be a little spotty as well, which is fun.
Okay. Yep. So now with back to resin, I was going to ask you of course you've had tons of different resin printers come out.
Yeah.
I only asked because I've got one myself. Did you pre-order the Tiny Maker, or did you ever receive a Tiny Maker?
Oh, not only did I pre-order, back it on Kickstarter, I think I was backer number 7 on that Kickstarter.
Oh, so very early on. I thought I was
backer
so they were 21.
Oh, see, you're also an early backer. Yeah, they were kind enough to send me one early, and I did a video on it. It was okay. I think I had an issue with the screen. Where it was just printing really weird in spots. I did get my backed orders a few months ago. I'm going to tell you right now, and anybody that's listening, I am the absolute worst with time management and budgeting of like stuff that I've purchased.
It's called procrastination. I'm a pro.
and turning it into content. Like I have the Tiny Maker machines sitting in their boxes over there. I bought 2 of them off of the campaign, with full intentions of keeping one and then giving it away as part of video. So I still need to do that, because I haven't even played around with the wash and cure station, the little tiny wash and cure
the little
station
tiny thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's much more of a novelty
100%
printer. Yeah. And I think I even stressed that to people in the video that I made. Like, if you have $150 or whatever it costs now to buy one, like, get yourself a real resin printer.
Yeah, 100%. Especially because you can get into the realm of an okay resin printer that's a normal size, but that's 100%. It's novelty. I think if they would have made it a high speed mini printer, it'd be a little more like you could take it places and then just print out stuff. But I take it to a family get together and I want to print something. By the end of it, I got this. Like, oh wow, that's really awesome, Joel. I'm so glad you brought it.
It's the type of product that is fun for me to bring to a maker fair where I might be talking about 3D printing, or to a school or something like that, where I'll go and visit with kids and just have something that I can show that's not, it's portability.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to the novelty aspect of it. And the last time I had the Tiny Maker, and then the Light 3DP, I think, is the other one that came out a few years ago that I also have. And I would pre-print models on it and then not remove them from the build plate and then bring them to like a maker fair. So it was just kind of suspended, and I wouldn't have resin in the vat. So, cause that's you don't want to spill resin anywhere. Yeah. So it's again, it's a very novelty thing, but it's a really cool tiny 3D printer, and
I love to see. It's fun.
I'd love to see someone like I've seen some tiny FDM printers, but I'd love to see like what is the tiniest FDM printer?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, pretty much the size of a hot end, and that's all it is. It just moves around in a little. That'd be interesting. I'm sure we will see something in the next year or two.
The other one that's like a tiny FDM printer is the Posatron that I pre-ordered that last year. I got it last year. I think I still haven't put that together, but that's again one of those that's like it's not a printer that I probably use a lot, but it's one of those novelty. It's a really cool show and tell.
Oh, it's
printer.
very demonstration printer. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, but and don't tell Jason that I won a Posatron a Murph last year, and it's still in the boxes. And unfortunately, I can't play the card like, oh, I don't have enough filament right now. I don't have the right filament. I got plenty of filament.
But by the way, can I just toot your guys' horn for a second?
I'm okay with that.
The Polyterra filament is like.
Well, now it's Pan Chroma matte.
Is it Pan Chroma matte now?
Yeah. Same exact stuff,
okay.
same formula, same stuff. So yeah, there you go.
Well, I was gonna say the Pan Chroma stuff is also really good.
So pretty much most of our this is a very debated topic because a lot of people don't like change and the name because we divided up our colorful aesthetics to Pan Chroma, our fibers engineering to Fiberon, and then Polymaker filament is staying in kind of the application based stuff. So yeah, most of our colors other than the Polylight PLA and PLA Pro and some odds and ends stuff, but yeah, the Pan Chroma.
Well, whatever you guys are calling the Polyterra stuff, like it's just the most beautiful matte color filaments. They're like it's not the same colors that I'm used to seeing from every other provider. So these are great for all the little aesthetic stuff that I like printing for my office. This is my go-to filament that I'm used to.
So now there's I can't say of course too much, but our product manager for the Pan Chroma family. Has a pretty high goal set for the year, and I want to say 80 new colors and surface effects by end of year. Yeah, so
I think
there's some stuff coming.
I think it was last year at 3D Printopia. Was I at 3D Printopia? Man, it's been a blur. I think it was last year at 3D Printopia. Yeah, I was there last year. Your booth that you guys had set up, just the variety of colors was like. How is this possible? Like, this many
before I worked
shades?
for him, when I found out about Polymaker, and then I had never used it. I always bought like inland because I have a micro center near me.
Yep.
And I'd buy the cheap stuff. Started winning some Polymakers. That's when I got on board, and then actually went to the site. It's like, oh wow, no, they got a lot of colors. Like, how did I not know this? And now to see it from what I seen when I logged in the first time, a few years ago to now, and now I mean. Actually, I just got the Amazon SKU list Excel sheet from one of our chats earlier today. I think it was in the 600s of total material and colors. Some of that stuff's unreleased stuff, but yeah. So I know the scientist itself. We maxed out an 8-foot table before we had to expand further, and we're at 420 scientists, and that's not all the material.
Well, what I find fun about the filament side of things is. I think it's no secret that a lot of the other filament brands that are out there are like, it's the same filament from brand A to brand B. It's like, this green. Wow, this is the exact same green.
The same. Like I know.
Just slapped a new sticker on it. But what's fun is it's like the variety that you guys have, especially when it comes to coming up with some of the projects that I'll be working on, and like, this was this was the the silk brass was what I was looking for shoot, now I can't remember his name is. I got it right here. I can't remember his name now, and I haven't put them together still. From
Rocketeer?
No, not the Rocketeer. No. That would be a really good one. Man, I'm completely drawing a blank on the character's name. It's the robot, GI Robot. That's what it was. GI Robot from But man, the Rocketeer would be a really good one. How have I not done a Rocketeer?
Plus the rocket pack, and then all I got to do is buy a cheap leather jacket. Yeah, come on, there you go. There's the next one.
Man, that's actually a fantastic idea. I'm
You
sure
see
someone's
the
done
dome
that.
head and the big eyes. I'm like, right away, I thought Rocketeer, but I guess he's got the slit mouth too, I think, right? He's got kind of a
Yeah.
grill mouth.
Yeah. Agree.
Well, you still have time to bring a Rocketeer cosplay to 3D Printopia, right?
I do. The unfortunate problem with 3D Printopia this year is it falls right on my wedding anniversary. So,
Yeah, I don't know.
and I'm pretty sure my wife. I'm not going to be able to convince my wife. Hey, for our anniversary, why don't we
Let's
go to this
a
3D
nerd
print
fest.
conference?
You'll love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, no, I think my wife the same is. I don't even think she would smack me. I think she would give me the death stare and just
Yes.
know, like, if you pull that off, yeah, you'll be buried 6 feet in the backyard. So I don't blame you. Okay, so maybe
She'd be like,
another
yeah,
rep
we
rap.
can go. She'd be like, yeah, we can go. How long do we have to go there for? I was like, oh, the whole day. How long is the whole day? Like a few hours? No, like the whole day.
Yeah, the whole day. And then even when it's over, they're still usually hanging out with a lot more people. So I hope you're
That's
ready
when
to
the
stay
fun
until
really
2.
is.
It is, yeah. It's
the
just
fun.
like, yeah, just hanging out and chilling. That's like Rocky Mountain is the lobby of the hotel near the venue. It's just it's the hangout spot, and you go and just chill and meet people and talk to friends.
I've never been to the Rocky Mountain event. It's too not I was gonna say it's too far. It's not too far. It's a challenge to get to.
Yeah. Well, this year too this definitely would not have been the year to choose go because it's you can find some decent priced hotels at like 25 minutes away or so, but all the stuff near that most people stay at all the time, I think it was 3-4 times more expensive than normal. It was
I heard that.
a big graduation or something going on.
Oh, okay.
We'll see how the timing next year goes, and maybe the timing will be better, and the timing will work for you, and you can come out and check it out.
I know. I'm gonna get out there one of these years. That's for
there
sure.
you go. Eventually, right? Well, real quick, 'cause I didn't realize the time is if community, if you guys have any questions on YouTube or Twitch for Clayton here, let us know, and I'll ask a few here. I won't hold them up too much longer. Of course, I can talk for you guys know me. I can talk for hours, but I don't like to keep people that long. Then usually, okay, layer by layer with the first question: pie or cake?
Pie or cake? I'm definitely a cake person.
Got any favorite cake?
Birthday cake. Like, what I mean by that is like the confetti, the processed cake.
Yeah, actually, so like mine is like I'm not a huge fan of chocolate cake. I like vanilla over chocolate. I've given the choice, but my wife makes it's got a couple different names. It's called poke cake. It's also called better than something cake. It's things that make babies. But it's basically a chocolate cake. You poke holes in it and you pour I think it's like heavy whipping cream, caramel, something else in it, and then you put whipped cream and like Heath topping over it. Oh, that
sounds really good.
It is amazing. That's my go-to. Not that I was asked, but that's we're talking food. I have to answer.
I'm much more of a like a candy, like a Sour Patch person over pastry. I lie. I'll eat any kind of cookie.
Same. Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Let's see. Pie or cake. What printer has the most durable glass door? Asked by.
Oh man. Well, I was gonna say the Core 1, but that doesn't technically have a glass door.
No,
it's like a. It has like a plexiglass.
The Uncle Jessy proof door.
That is the Uncle Jessy proof door.
Now that's just stuck with you from the very start of that happening.
It's you know what? It's been it's a fun thing. My favorite is like I'm on Reddit a lot, like more than any human should be than any human should be, and so I will get tagged quite a bit when people they get their printer delivered and the door shattered, or they do something stupid
Uncle
and
Jessy
shatter
must
the
have
door.
delivered this one.
And I'll be like, I swear it wasn't me.
Yeah. Let's see here. Peekaboo is asking, where do I get denatured alcohol? I'll assume for the resin cleaning.
Yeah. Let's see. The denatured alcohol, I'm trying to remember. I mean, I pretty much only use isopropyl And I get mine from Walmart, which isn't the best because I think you can get in larger options for cheaper.
I've gotten denatured alcohol at Walmart also. If you go back to the,
Do
I
they?
think it's paint or house cleaning.
Yes, you're
stuff.
right. Because I was going to say I've gotten mine
the
from I think Home Depot or Lowe's, the denatured alcohol. So I'm just at this point I'm so desensitized to the isopropyl alcohol, which is probably a bad thing. But introducing anything else is like harmful to me.
If it works, it works.
Yeah.
It's the Additive Adam asks favorite model in 3D print.
Ooh, that is a very hard one. Probably anything Magneto related. I'm going to tell you right now, my favorite 3D print is the helmet. It's the Magneto helmet that Wicked 3D did for me. They had made a bust, I think it was, and I contacted them and I was like, hey, can you turn that into a helmet? Because it was the first time anybody's made like a classic Magneto helmet, Marvel style, but it was beat up. Like it was all sorts of scuffed up and everything. I'm all about battle damage and non-clean looking prints or props. So I've printed that helmet so many times, and I honestly can never get enough of it. It's such an awesome helmet file that I love printing.
There you go. Let's see. Next question. Polymaker P asks, what's the longest run Uncle Jessy has gone? I'm going to assume exercise run.
Yeah, an exercise run. The longest run I've ever gone on, I think it was a while ago. It was 8 miles. That was a long while ago. I go up and down with my fitness and dieting and eating healthy. Yeah. So I'm trying. What's funny is I just this past week started. I walk. I walk a lot or use the elliptical a bunch. But this week I just started back. I just got some new running shoes, some new Hokas. They're very vibrant and bright. I'm very excited about them.
That way the cars see them.
Yeah, I need to I like to have the super visible, bright, annoying looking shoes as possible when running. So I'm going to be testing those out tomorrow. I like to do big runs on Friday. So tomorrow, hopefully I'll do like a 5-mile run. We'll see. I do a lot of walking and running
in my car, but
I'm telling you right now, like I'm old. I can't do straight runs anymore. So it's like I'll run a mile, walk a quarter, run a mile, walk a quarter.
Hey,
I'm trying to work myself back up there.
I need to get to that point. I just need to start first. But let's see. Sideline Review asks, when is Jesse going to print Lego bricks to match his separator? Oh, your big old
I did
Giga print.
Yeah, I did. I printed two bricks that warped like crazy. Actually, I reprinted the smaller one on the Neptune 4 Max, and that printed perfectly. But the huge one that I printed is just all sorts of deformed, and I wasted so much filament on it, and it just drove me nuts that I think what I'm going to end up doing now is splitting it up and trying to put it together. I don't know. Nate from the internet, I think he might at some point release his files or make them for sale because those are really optimized for printing huge and without supports. So if he makes those available, I'll be buying them and then retesting that. But right now I'm trying to figure out, someone gave me the idea from the video I did, because I want to hang it. And they were like, oh, you need to print some bricks that you can like hook it into and then hang it on the wall. My problem is it's at such a, give me 2 seconds here. Hold on. I got a prop here that I can show you guys. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. So here's the original, a real Lego brick separator.
The baby.
So if it's not going to focus on me, is it? There we go. If I want to hang it on my wall, it's got to be like this, but you'll see this is the point where the brick goes into, it's at a down angle. So when I tried testing it out with the brick that I printed, it just obviously slides. And it's heavy. It slides right out. So I've got to try and figure out a mechanism or something that I can get it to be wall mounted. Maybe it's like cleats or something like that I print in there, or maybe it's something like I fake it where it looks like it's on the brick. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But it's way too cool not to have somewhere on display in
Absolutely.
my studio. That was such an awesome print project, and it was super stressful. Like every day I was running in there. What's that?
How many days was that?
It was a 5-day, like 5.5 day print, and it was a little over 5 spools of filament. And I was constantly running in there and changing out the filament before it ran out, because I don't trust the filament runout sensor on the Giga still. It works, and like,
but that one time
70% of the time,
3.5 days into it.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna be so I'd rather pause it and then manually pull it out and swap out the filament. So I'd wait until it was really close to running out. So I had a Wise camera on the print so I could watch it printing. But I also had another one angled at the spool on the back so I could watch to see how far it was.
Just so you know, like, okay, I can start to see spool at the bottom of that. Let's get over there.
I can remember one of the nights it was like 10:30 or 11, and I told them, I was like, I'm sorry, I gotta run back to my building real quick and change out the filament before I go to bed.
Oh, let's see. Last question is from Critter42, and asks, out of your top 5 from TCT video, which one do you think is going to have the most impact soonest on the home hobby? If you remember your top 5.
Easily is going to be the Bondtech
index.
The index. That
yes.
I still feel like my video, the footage that I captured. First of all, when I'm at these shows recording, I need to do a much better job of capturing footage first and then talking to people, because a lot of my footage, I'm like, I'm talking to somebody and trying to record, and it's all over the place and nothing's in frame. And then I went home and I was like, what the heck did I just, like, God. But I feel like even my footage didn't accurately capture just how small those.
Yes.
It's so tiny, especially after working with the Prusa XL. It is incredibly small and lightweight. It was going so quick. In the print, I think they still have to work some stuff out with it. Like the prints weren't looking perfect, but it was like 80% there. Still being
in development, not finished.
Oh yeah,
yet. That's
it
I've told a ton of
impressive.
people is that's probably I've always been on the eventually I want to build a Voron. Eventually I'm going to build one. Every few months I say that. Is that I think will be the thing is it comes out and works, is I'm going to build a Voron so I can build a tool changer, and I'm going to slap as many of those as I can on it.
And that's the thing. It's not just 4 tool changers or 5. They've shown like 10 of them on there. Something.
So I can't remember the gentleman's name from Bondtech, but I talked to him, and did he hint to you what printer they're getting in to put them on?
No, they didn't.
I'll just say it's a big one.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how many they throw in this thing. So I mean, he told me, he didn't say like, hey, don't tell anybody. He told me just in conversation, but I don't know if it's kind of out there, so I won't say fully, but it's going to be awesome once they get it in and check it out and see. I mean, you're going to see more than 10 if they max it out.
I still stand by I did a video when the H2D came out, that is not what I wanted. That is not what I think a lot of people wanted from Bamboo.
Yeah.
And that's more along the lines of what I was anticipating that they were going to be doing.
Oh yeah. Could you imagine the H2D instead came out as like an index machine, the platform to launch index? Oof.
That I feel like would have been a much bigger bang and wow factor, especially for the pricing of the machine that it was. So that's a whole other story.
That's for a podcast. Eventually maybe we'll start one of those up here. But that is it for the community questions. I'm gonna hit you with a few quick rapid fire questions. The first 2 are always the same. First, what is your favorite color or surface effect filament? And it does not have to be Polymaker.
It is going to be Cookie CAD Witchcraft PLA is my absolute favorite color. It's this super vibrant,
Is that the purple one?
sparkly purple. Yeah,
Okay.
it is
Yep.
hands down my favorite. It's awesome.
There you go. Now, second one, this is a little bit harder. What is the one print that you're most proud of? Now, this might go back to what you answered earlier, so, but just whether a beginning print or anything.
Yeah, the one print that I'm probably most proud of, it's honestly, I can't think of a specific print. I'm trying to think of, it always ends up being stuff that I have done for my kids that usually never even makes it into videos is the ones that I just enjoy the most because I think I get them the most excited for that. I don't have one sitting over here. I can't believe I don't have one sitting over here. My youngest is obsessed with Sonic and is like on YouTube watching all these crazy videos of the different versions of Sonic. So he wants a Neo metal Sonic figure. So I was in Nomad. I found a Sonic Lego head, and he's huge into Legos. So I found a Sonic head. I brought it into Nomad, and I've tweaked the head to be as close as I could try to get it to this Neo metal Sonic head. And then I've printed it at a whole bunch of them to try and get them to fit a Lego body. And then now going to be printing it on the Creality High multicolor printer. Yep. And so he can have a little Neo metal Sonic figure. Because it's not something that exists. So I figured, he's going to be super excited.
Oh, then you just need to reach out to Hendrik and have him show you how to electroplate it.
Oh my goodness, that's right. That is one thing that I'm dying to do, and I think I've bookmarked a few of his videos on the materials that I need for all of that.
Just to get it started, we have a scientist that he did for us. It looks amazing. It's just like that's 3D printed and coded. It's crazy. But so cool. Next up, these are going to get more in depth as we go along. It's a couple more. DC or Marvel?
Oh, that is a very tough one. I'm a huge Batman fan. For anybody that doesn't know, I used to work at DC very briefly, back in the early 2000s when Batman Hush was first released. I was working at DC doing ad inserts in their comic books, layout design, not actual comic book drawing. I don't have any kind of drawing skills like that, but computer ad skills is what I went to school for. So worked there briefly and got lots of free comic books. But I'm gonna go with Marvel. I'm a huge longtime X-Men fan. Yeah. So
original
that's
cartoon,
I was
everything else.
Yeah, I was big into the X-Men comics since I was like 11 or 12. And I would have said Image and Spawn if this was a handful of years ago. I was a huge Spawn comic book reader for ages, and then I've kind of dropped off from reading comic books over the last, I think the last comic book I bought was maybe 5 years ago. So
now you're left behind in story. I mean, if you're not following through within a month,
I'm so lost. What's funny is my TikTok is lots of comic book people that break down what's going on in the newest comic books. So I do have an idea of what's going on in a lot of them.
Okay, and then last question. Talking about X-Men and everything else. Mm-hmm. Should the X-Men still protect the world that hates them, or should they just say they
That is a good question. One of my favorite runs of X-Men was briefly before. It's sort of like when the X-Men not turn against humanity, but they sort of went to protecting their own, and Cyclops basically pushed to sort of lead the front and it was sort of like protect their own. I still think they should, but at the same time, it was such a fun twist for them to be, for them to be like all on their own and just sort of focused on just the mutants themselves.
There you go.
I think there was only at the time, and that comic run, I think there was only like, it was after the No More Mutants thing. So there was, I think maybe like 100 and what was it, like 117 or something like that, crazy. There was only a handful of mutants left on the planet at the time. Yeah.
Yep. Well, that
Super
is all
nerdy,
I
sorry.
got for questions.
Yeah.
You know, for again, if we've met you, we know who you are. I'm sure you know people have seen the link that I have on the screen for your link tree. But where can people find you? Is there any new upcoming projects? Anything that we need to expect from you, or where to watch you from?
Yeah, I'm always posting over on YouTube. I try to post more on the other social sites as well. I'm on Reddit. You can find me on Reddit. I'm like commenting on people's stuff constantly. On Facebook and a bunch of the 3D printing Facebook groups under my real name, Clayton. And then, if you want to really find me, I'm on Twitter. I'm on like old man social media. So
get them Twitters out there. Gotta get them twits.
Still my platform of choice with all the garbage that's on there. But yeah.
There you go. Now, real quick too, before I let you go, is I know you said 3D Printopia is likely out of the realm unless you want a divorce. Are you planning on any other rep wraps or any other events or Comic Cons or anything that people might be able to meet you at?
I'm potentially going to try and get to New York Comic Con. We'll see. I don't know. I'm kind of open. I'm up in the air right now with travel at the moment with everything that's going on. So I'm playing it sort of day by day,
on the
week
ground.
by week. Yeah.
Understand. Well, you know, you just do the Rocketeer Cosplay.
I know.
Just make it functional, and you can just go.
And then I can just fly around.
Yeah, it's easier done than said.
I can drive up to the hacksmith and be like, hey, can you help me turn this into a functional
If anybody's going to make that happen, that would be the guy to
it's
do
them.
it. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show and hanging out. And we went a little over time, so I hope I didn't keep you too long. But
no, it's fine.
Appreciate
it was awesome.
It. Always great talking to
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Yep, I hope to see you soon. Maybe rep wrap next year. We'll figure it out. We'll cross paths eventually.
It'll be perfect.
Hey, have a good night, and thank you again.
Hey, thanks for all the questions, everybody. Bye.
See ya. And another one in the books. Uncle Jessy, Clayton, just an awesome, down-to-earth guy. Fun to talk. I also loved X-Men, so I could reminisce on that for probably another hour or two easily. So just, again, huge thanks to him coming on the show. I hope you guys also enjoyed it. If you didn't, knuckle sandwich for you when I see you. But we have a lot of things going on. Of course, we got Rocky Mountain coming up here next week. For those that are going to be out there, come say hello. We're going to have a whole Polymaker team. This is going to be the first event that we have a fully staffed booth with all Polymaker employees, because we're building our team. So we got a lot more people. You're going to see me there. I'm sorry. Tiffany's going to be there. So she's definitely fun if you haven't met her yet. Polymaker Pete's going to be there. Nag him about all the new stuff that you want coming out in the Polymaker filament world. We have Nico, of course. Or Nick. Everybody knows him as, we call him Nico a lot. But Nick's going to be there. We're also going to have Yuli from our wholesale team. Chase, our marketing manager. So some new faces, new names. Definitely come by, say hi, meet everybody. And also, real quick, is we're going to have a community table or community prints, which we've been doing the last several rep wraps. Love to see people bring prints out. Some we've gotten through other rep wraps and they've let us keep them. If you bring one, don't think that we have to keep it. If you are coming and you have a really awesome print in Polymaker filament that you're proud of, that you think's just cool, bring it by the table. You can set it there. You can reclaim it at the end of the event. You can let us keep it, whether we use it at another event or we give it away, whatever it might be. Come out, share a print if you'd like. And if not, just come shake hands, high fives, all that good stuff. But then also make sure to check out our other projects. We have Polymaker figurines on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all them socials. And that is led by Antoine Dimensions. I still didn't say that right. Yeah, here I go. I addressed it. I'm so sorry, layer by layer. But anyway, Antoine Dimensions, he is doing the videos of all the Pokemon. We have the first 151 were finished last year. He is on version 2. And as he does those videos, those models become available for free to download and print yourself on Maker World. So definitely do that. And I forgot, did somebody do... Oh, there we go. Who did that? There we go, figurines. Thank you, Pezliz. So next up, then we also have our Polymaker Education led by Creatrix Brit, and that is the same format as she does the videos. The models presented in those videos for education are then available for download for free to print for yourself or for others to use as teaching tools, learning tools, or just fun prints to have sitting around on your desk. There are many of them and with many more to come. So make sure to check her out at Polymaker Education. And that is, I think, there we go. Oh, look at that, Tony Wright. It's now a race to who can get it first. Appreciate the support, guys. So we also have Polymaker Lab, and that is going to be ran by none other than Sean, 3D Print General for those that are back in the day. He is doing fun videos, tips and tricks, and troubleshooting for anything 3D printing. The guy is very knowledgeable. He's got a whole list of troubleshoots and tips and everything to share with everybody. He does it in a fun, easy to digest ways. So definitely follow him. That's on TikTok. And he does, I think he does 3 videos a week. I need to figure out what the actual schedule is. He puts out a lot, but it's always fun. He's got good energy, dressed up as the Polymaker scientist, and he definitely pulls it off. He does well. But then we also have, not to forget, In Printing Color, hosted by Pezliz. That is over on twitch.tv/Pezliz, where she does a episode every week on Wednesdays. And that is showing different colors, new colors as they come out. There's a package coming to her finally. You have to wait until maybe the endish of May to be able to see what she's got. But some really fun colors. They look amazing. I've seen a couple prints already, actually several prints already with these new filaments, and they look awesome. So I think you guys will love them. But follow her because she's gonna, when she can, I'm gonna share it as soon as she can on her stream, I'm sure. But that is it all for the projects that are currently going on. Again, Rocky Mountain next week, coming up very, very quickly. So make sure to come out and say hi if you're there. But we're gonna go over here to, well, type in I am awesome. I want to switch over to the giveaway screen because I'm running behind already. And we are going to figure out, make sure to type in I am awesome. This is for anybody. If you hear my voice, if you see my face, type in I am awesome. If you think you did it, but you're not sure, do it again. Type in I am awesome to get your entry in for a chance to win a spool of filament. And we'll do a drawing here shortly. And then after that drawing, we are going to raid out to somebody that's streaming. Oh, maybe. There we go. We're going to raid out to my good buddy Shenanigans 3D. Make sure, last time we raided out to Brit, and I think she crashed the second we did. Sorry, Brit. But he's active. Looks like he's laser cutter build 3D printed card. So he's always doing crazy projects to where he's integrating stuff into it. So definitely going to be a fun one to watch. But get your entries in there because I'm going to do the drawing in 10 seconds. So we have 84. If you haven't done it, I am awesome. Real quick, actually, I'll give it 15 seconds. People on YouTube, go over to Twitch and type it there. You have to enter through Twitch, but then you can go back to YouTube because I'll tell you how to redeem your prize if you are the winner. So 15 seconds, get it in there. I'm going to go ahead and set up this raid. The raid is set. So I'm going to have to do the drawing, everybody. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Was that good seconds? Here we go. We're at 85 and we are drawing for a spool of filament. Exclamation point contact in chat for my email. You can reach out to me at joel.fin@polymaker.com or message me on Discord at discord.polymaker.com. But congratulations, Aishin Loki. Is Han Loki? I don't know. Is he? I thought Han Solo was Han Solo, but maybe Han Solo is Loki disguised as Han Solo. But regardless, you've won. Congratulations. Reach out to me via email or Discord message, and I will make sure to get that processed right away for you and, get you that filament. And we will be back next week. I will have a Tuesday stream. There will be a show next week also. I don't miss them. I'm not going to miss them. I haven't yet, so I don't plan on it anytime soon. But thank you all for your support. Have a wonderful night, and we will see you very, very soon. And make sure to give our love over to Shenanigans. He's an awesome individual. See you guys.